Good afternoon. I'd like to just start by saying welcome to Corvallis. Probably most of you have been here at some time before, but it's a wonderful community. And I also need to say welcome to OSU. Go Beavs! Okay, just testing you there. Obviously, the university's right up the hill here. And as Oregon as a state grew, the university grew, this building grew, this church grew, and somewhere in the midst of that, there was a vision for campus ministry, and it was birthed right out of this building. 100 years ago this year, in 2019, First Presbyterian Church hired their first full-time campus minister. And that's where we date our 100th year celebration that's happening this year is because of what you did. So I want to thank you. You hired a minister and they began doing campus ministry and having students in their parsonage all the time. And apparently there was a certain vitality there and things were going well. And then there was a fire. And that parsonage burned down. It wasn't the students' fault, I don't think. Unfortunately, those things happened more frequently back then. But at that time, this congregation decided to build a new ministry building right across from the university on Monroe Street, where we still are. And that is what we now call Westminster House. So that's kind of where we were started and why we're 100 years old. Now, since then, a number of things have happened. One of the things that happened very, very early on was the Presbyterian ministry joined with the Wesley Foundation, the United Methodist ministry from kind of just across the street there. And the two of those denominations have a long history together. Why don't we go ahead and go forward one more slide. Since then, some other things have happened. One of the things that happened is this church federated with First Congregational Church. That's the building kind of over that way. I don't know the exact reasons. And your two congregations came together, the denominations did federated ministry, and our campus ministry started doing federated ministry. Later on, those two congregations were at a place where they both developed your own Presbyterian and your own First Congregational Church up the road. Our ministry stayed united, though. Other denominations, since they're the Disciples or the Christian Church. And you need to know that there is vibrant ministry going on just up the street, your ministry going on in the name of the Presbyterian Church and our other three denominations. We've had lots of different names through the years. Currently, we're simply calling ourselves Westm, representing everything, because there's a lot of Westminsters out there, so we just went with Westm. We do a lot of different things there, and you all may have a perception of what campus ministry looks like, and I need to tell you that may not be the reality. Some of you may recognize the picture on the left. That is not making a political statement, but some people think that college students just want fast food, pizza, and ramen all the time. You need to know that's not our reality at our ministry right up the road there. On the right was one of the meals we served a couple weeks ago. I tend to serve vegetarian meals with as much fresh produce as I can buy. Some of my students help us cook up a meal on Wednesday night. For the carnivores, sometimes I'll have a little bacon or something they can sprinkle on their food, and a vegan option if there's any vegans in the rooms. But perception and reality is very different. Some of you may think of college students as being 18-year-olds coming out of their high schools, going to their parents' alumnus institution, and doing 4 years and then going off and getting a job somewhere. That is not the reality today. The reality is high school graduations across the state and across the nation are down. And the university is maintaining their numbers by doing a number of things, bringing in more international students, by trying to get as many other out-of-state students in. There's a lot more non-traditional students. Now when I do campus ministry, sometimes I have to figure out childcare. Sometimes I have 60-year-old people who are very active in my ministry, and they're students, not professors. I have 60-year-old professors as well. And all of it is campus ministry. And you are a part of the good things that are happening up there. But it's not about me. I'd like to invite Hunter up for a minute. Hunter is one of our new students this year, and she's just going to share something about Westm.
Hello. Hello. So I'm a student at OSU. I've been going there for about 5 years now, and I just found Westm last fall. My experience with Westm is that it's a space that is very supportive and comfortable for people of all backgrounds and all identities. And that's really wonderful to see coming from a faith tradition. Like to see a faith tradition that is so inclusive and welcoming, which for myself, and I know a lot of my friends as well, it was my first time seeing a Christian place that was so accepting. And it's been really great for me to have that experience and then also be able to share with my friends. Yeah, so I found a home at Westm, and it's been really great.
Hunter and I will be joining you for dinner. We'll have a little table set up there with a bunch of our information. Hunter's also a remarkable artist and an art student, and it has been a blessing having her be a part of who we are, setting up our prayer stations, and just bringing this wonderful creative vitality to who we are. Let's scroll through a bunch of slides fairly quickly. We do a lot of food at the ministry. The first was a tea party that Hunter organized. This is Stone Soup. We feed about 100 homeless people in Corvallis twice a month with volunteer students doing that. We are happy to be a part of that. This is a picnic we were doing. We always have enough food, from vegetarian, vegan to carnivorous foods. This is some of my board members. It takes adults. Actually, all of my students are adults as well. It takes some seasoned persons as well. They're preparing a pancake breakfast. We also do drink. Here we are picking apples, and that's about a 100-year-old cider press. We're pressing some cider at one of the local farms right here on the corner of town. We do a lot of hiking, a lot of spiritual connection with nature. This is over at Silver Falls. There's Scout. He goes hiking with us every Sunday somewhere here in the area. We do labyrinth walks. That's in Memorial Union, right in the center of campus, and that was one we did in the park right across the street here. We do a lot of different prayer activities and ways to engage students very holistically in their spirituality. We do some social justice issues. Here we are at Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. It was a drizzly, wet day, but most of our students hung out. If you go to the next picture, I call this missing people. This was after it started raining, some people left, and there were dry places. And I want to pause here for a moment and tell you how my day started on campus. I am also the volunteer, what am I called? President or chair of the Spiritual Life at OSU group. That's the group of all the different faith communities that serve this larger campus. And one of our members on our leadership team is Omar, who is the president of the Muslim Student Association, who had a friend who was shot last night, and the friend's father who just came out of surgery. And we're still holding him in prayer. But it touches our communities in very visceral ways. And certainly for a Muslim community, also our students of color, as we are in a situation where some of the things that were being said, it wasn't about a faith tradition, it was about all this white supremacist hatred type stuff that cuts across our community, it cuts across our campus, it creates fear. So even as how Hunter says that it's a safe place, Westm, for her, it is for many other people as well. Rachel, the director of the Hillel, the Jewish Foundation, was meeting with me today. They regularly meet in our building. The NAACP does all of their meetings in our building. We are really a place where the community comes together, both the student community and the campus community, but also an intersecting point with the Corvallis community. And that happens because we get to do ministry with you. So thank you. My future for the ministry is that we will remain a vital piece of what this campus is. We will be proclaiming a love from a faith tradition that extends beyond any boundaries we might put around it. And I thank you for that, and I hope that 100 years from now there will be another campus minister speaking to another group of people right here talking about 200 years of